What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JBspoorts, back again with another one. Got some huge news in collegiate sports. One of the biggest names, one of the most successful head coaches in college football history has decided to retire, has decided to go into the private sector, enjoy the rest of his life. A guy that won 7 national championships, 1 with LSU and 6 with Alabama, in my opinion, is the greatest head coach in college football history, and arguably the greatest head coach in all the sports, right up there with the Phil Jacksons of the world, the Vince Lombardis of the world, the Bill Belichicks of the world, the Greg Popovich of the world. He goes by the name of Nick Saban, has decided to retire. Nick Saban is not a fan of what's going on in college football these days with the transfer portal, with people that are connected to universities able to pay athletes huge sums of money to come to their university and play collegiate sports, whether it be football or basketball. It's called big time sports for a reason, and Nick Saban has decided that he don't want to be part of that no more. I think that's the main reason why he's retiring. Of course, he's 69 years old. I know he's in his late 60s, so he's pushing towards 70. He has nothing else to prove. Again, 7 national championships. And in my opinion, he is the greatest head coach in college football history. He's the Bill Belichick of college football, make no mistake about it. He has nothing left to prove in the sport, but I think if the sport was like it was a few years ago when we didn't have these transfer portal, we didn't have these universities like Texas A&M Aggies, Texas Longhorns paying athletes huge sums of money to come play football for their universities or play college basketball for their universities. I think that's the main reason, one of the main reasons why Nick Saban has decided to retire. Make no mistake about it. Nick Saban, this past season, in my opinion, did his best coaching job of his career as he took one of the most least talented teams and took them to the college football playoffs. I believe this past season, Alabama team was right up there with his first national championship team at LSU that won a national championship for the Tigers. I believe those two teams are on the same level. When you talk about the 6 national championships that he won at Alabama, those teams were supremely talented. Those teams, in most cases, were the most talented team in college football, led by a great coach. They was able to finish the deal and become national champions. With all that being said, who will be the next head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide? I think they'll look down south, South Carolina to be exact, and look at head coach and former Alabama Crimson Tide player Dabo Swinney, who has etched out quite a resume with the Tigers. 2 national championships, I believe 4 national championship game appearances, and if I'm not mistaken, 6 college football playoff appearances. Dabo Swinney is one of the great college football head coaches of this era. Make no mistake about it. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. I know a lot of the Alabama Crimson Tide alumni will want Kirby Smart to leave the head coaching position at the University of Georgia and come back to Alabama, where he served as Nick Saban's defensive coordinator. I don't see that happening. I think Kirby got a good thing going on in Georgia. Georgia is, before this season, were trying to three-peat. They were back-to-back national champions. In a lot of people's opinion, they were the best team this year. They should have been in the playoffs, but they couldn't make the playoffs because they did not win the SEC, as they was knocked out by Alabama in the SEC championship game. And all 4 participants in this year's college football playoff won their conference. So I don't believe Georgia had a leg to stand on, but a lot of people that were involved in college football believe that Georgia was one of the 4 best teams in college football. And a lot of people believe if they were in the college football playoff, they would have won a national championship. But we will never know because they did not win the SEC. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But that's the breaking news. Nick Saban is retiring from college football, leaving a legacy that I believe will be unmatched. And I don't see nobody coming close to doing what he did, especially with what's going on in college football now with the transfer portal. It's going to be hard for teams to maintain dominance, winning back-to-back national championship, making consecutive college football appearances. But it still could happen because the college football format is going to span next year, 12-team playoffs. So you will see a lot of teams that will be able to have a lot of success and be in the playoffs year after year. But as far as winning national championship and becoming champions, that'll be a little bit more difficult in the landscape of college football these days. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But Nick Saban, old Saint Nick, has decided to retire because I don't think he's a fan of what's going on in college football. He's not a fan of the landscape of college football with the transfer portal, with the huge sum of money that these athletes are now being able to make to go play and showcase their skills on their college football field. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Follow me on Facebook, Gerard Briscoe. Like, share, subscribe to JB Sports. The man, the myth, the legend. You're not holla.